And another finding that I considered very striking, well, there were several others, but one of them that really hit me that I think people need to hear, and we're talking with Elise Gould, economist with the Economic Policy Institute, is that in a large number of areas, the cost of childcare or even in more cases, the cost of early childhood care is greater than the cost of tuition at a public college or university. Do I have that right?
That's exactly right. In 33 states in the District of Columbia, it costs more to provide infant care than it does for in-state tuition for college. And it's really interesting when you think about middle and upper income families, when they're trying to save for college, they have 18 years, presumably, right, from 0 to 18 after a child is born, to try to cover those costs. But if they think about earlier in their careers, when they're on average going to be younger, they're going to be making less money. They all of a sudden have an infant, and now they have to pay just as much money as they'd have to pay for in-state college tuition. It's mind-boggling, really, to think about how people actually afford that.
And another way that this struck me as a terrible squeeze, Elise Gould, was that if I remember correctly, my data on this, I think we're the only developed nation in the world that doesn't provide some form of paid leave for new parents. So it seems to me that if that's correct, that new American parents are in the unique situation of kind of being forced by financial circumstances to go back to work, and yet faced with early childhood child care that is enormously expensive.
Yes, it's absolutely increasingly the case that both parents need to be working. If you have two parents in the household, need to be working to make ends meet. And so for that to be the case, then you need to figure out what you're going to do with your kid. And we do not have paid parental leave in any meaningful way across this country. There are no laws in most places across this country that cover parents. And so they take a minimum of how much they can either save up on their sick time or vacation time, and then they're back to work. And then they need to find care for their kids. And that care can be quite expensive for them to cover.